Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is a show where we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are continuing the month-long theme of my birthday, choosing movies that I love that Kevin's watching for the first time. And we're checking out for this week the sci-fi classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Our thoughts and more are coming up on Movie Club. Released in 1951, The Day the Earth Stood Still was directed by Robert Wise and stars Michael Rennie, Patricia Neal, and Billy Gray. An alien and a robot land on Earth after World War II and tell mankind to be peaceful or face destruction. The film currently has a 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for this movie. We're going to be talking about everything that happens, and I will say there are some things that not everyone has seen this movie. I think everyone has seen images of it, so we don't want to spoil it for you and ruin any kind of first-time surprises. So, but make sure to stay tuned to the end of the show to find out what movie I'm picking for Kevin next week, because it is really quite different in terms of tone. All righty, Kevin. Yes. We are here with the second Garrett birthday month pick, and I've picked 1951's The Day the Earth Stood Still. Right. This is a movie that I watched for the first time last year because I was in a sci-fi class for my master's, and I was looking for films because I wanted to do my paper on alien messiah figures, and this is a movie that came up a lot, so I was really excited to check this one out, and then ended up really loving it and respecting it. So I'm curious, had you seen this movie before? Had you at least heard of it before? Like, what was your history with this before today?
So I've definitely heard of this movie because of how many remakes it has gotten as well. But I always remember this being a classic. Everybody always talks about the 51 version of this movie, and the robot is iconic in this movie. But it was very interesting watch, and I want to talk about it because I think this is a fantastic movie.
Well, I'm glad. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. So obviously, this is it's one of those iconic sci-fi films. Like, this is one that I think everyone thinks of when they think sci-fi, when they think kind of 50s, like not like B movies, because there's a lot of B movies from the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
They were capitalizing on, the Cold War, because like it was a way to kind of have an enemy that was the Russians, but not really the Russians. But then also you had like Roswell, and you had like the alien craze, right? So like this was a huge gold mine of potential movies. So I think that's what really helped make it stand out at the time. And this was kind of before the big rush of B movies started coming. But I really love this movie for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, this is a commentary on the Cold War and just kind of war in general. Like, kind of echoing the same idea that I kind of have now, which is like we're humans, and it's technically in a very advanced time. Like, we should be better than this.
Yeah.
Which I've always loved that about sci-fi movies. But then also, this movie is overtly, in a lot of ways, it is a religious movie, but not like
in your face kind of a.
It's not like a Christian movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, any religion that has a messiah figure can get some value out of this.
Yeah,
definitely, because of the fact that it is an American film made during the 1950s, during the height of the Cold War. It's a very Christ metaphor centric movie. But any movie with any kind of prophet or messiah figure could, equate to this. Yes. And it doesn't it doesn't do anything that shoves it in your face. It's not propaganda. It's not saying like, anything's better than anything else. No. It's just using that familiar tale to elicit sympathy from the audience, which I really like.
Another thing is too, anybody can take their religion and put themselves as the main character in this as Klaatu. Yeah. Klaatu. They can be like their god or their messiah in this, and it doesn't persuade you one way, like you were saying. It's very bleak and bland, which I think it absolutely works for this movie, because if you do put a religious stamp on this, you will get the other religious people not wanting to watch this movie because they're of what religion they are.
Yes, absolutely. And I think like even me, like someone who's not religious and puts no stock in religion, like I could still get a, you know, obviously I see the Christ metaphor here, but I think that also like I could apply any prophetic figure that preaches for peace and nonviolence, right? So Martin Luther King,
you can just put logic to it.
Yeah,
like it's just it's common sense, and a lot of people don't have common sense nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that's what's always it's kind of timeless about it, right? But I really I love this movie. It feels ahead of its time because of its connection to religious stories. But the visuals are also good too, right? Like it's not like it doesn't feel overly cheesy, and I think that's what a lot of people kind of get from 50s sci-fi movies, right? Is kind of cheesiness. But this one doesn't. I mean, like obviously, I think a lot of 50s sci-fi B movies either deal with us going to space, right, and going to another planet or something, or they deal with like a monstrous alien.
Yeah.
Right. This is one of the first times where you had an alien that arrived on the planet that looked human and was just basically a guy, you know?
Yeah. Well, it looked human and didn't do anything. It didn't like, I'm going to destroy your world. It just, he literally wants to give, we're in no spoiler territory, right?
Yeah, we can go ahead and spoil.
Okay, cool. He wants to give the president something. And you know what? One dumbass has to shoot a shot and then break it. And it's just that one person that one, what is straw that breaks the camel's back kind of a thing. And it's just like, if he would have just listened and not, because I get we were fearful in the 51 because of the Cold War and everything like that, but I love how this movie shows it in a different way, not putting it on a different country or anything like that. It's just that's how scared we were because we didn't know what was going to happen. And you and I were in the future when this movie came out, so we know what happens. Nothing really happens, but think about it. Back in the day, you're like, this is happening. It was happening then, like during this movie when it came out, or
the Cold War was happening.
So in that aspect, you're like, everybody's on edge. I wouldn't say scared. I would say very on edge about this. And
people were scared. Yeah.
But how they start off this movie is perfect because it's like, oh, well, that was a gift for you guys, and you guys already shot it down. That's like, when I was watching, I was like, that's strike one right there in my head. And then you get to the interactions between the alien and the little boy is absolutely fantastic. I love their chemistry together. How he's just, this boy is so innocent because of how young he is, and the alien loves that about him because he doesn't see a scared kid. He sees just a kid that wants to live, pretty much. That's what I took away from it.
Yeah, it's also Klaatu being able to see
like the good,
the bad, like everything of humanity. Just seeing everything about humanity through a child, which I mean, in a lot of ways is a great way to see it because it is a innocent look, right? And you know, they don't have the same like politics or anything, so it's definitely, you know, a good way to do it. You know, and I like how you point out the scene where he is shot by the American soldier, which obviously, you know, the American soldier is just doing his job, right? He was terrified
but no one called the shot on it, though. That's
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely there's some arguments to be had there. But the connections to, like, specifically to the Christ story are very evident because of a lot of different things, right? I think about how there is a shot in this movie when where Klaatu's body kind of falls onto a shadow that's in the shape of a cross, which is very overt. There's also the entire idea that he dies is taken into the ship, which is then sealed, just like the tomb and the rock in front of it with the Christ story, and then is revived. It is reincarnated, is brought back to life. It is literally a direct mirror of that story. And if you think about it, right, we've been talking about how like humanity sucks because we were at war and all that. Like in the Christ story, he's killed because of people being people and the flawed creatures that we are, right? It's the same exact thing. And you know, obviously, you know, kind of nice and on purpose, which is fantastic. But I don't want to dwell too much on the actual that nature of the movie. It's also really good looking for the 50s, and I think that it does use its limited visual effects and its limited budget very well.
Yeah, like the spaceship looks fantastic, even though it's just sitting there most of the time. In the air, it's kind of a little iffy, but still good. But when it's sitting there landed, it looks so eerie and creepy as well, especially when they open the doors to it. It's very intricate, which I really enjoyed as well. Again, it's a sci-fi movie, but very sci-fi.
Yeah, and it's unapologetically sci-fi, which I really like. You know, I think we need to go back to a time when our sci-fi movies were like actually just flying saucers and like guys in like silvery suits, right? Because like it does speak to a little bit of an optimism, which I really like. I mean, as negative as the movie can feel, right? It's you know, it's ambiguous, right?
I mean, especially for the time.
Yeah, like all right, well, you guys got to decide if you want to choose peace or you want to all die. And it's like
exactly.
And it's crazy, right? Because like how you would think, how do we not choose peace? How do we not? But obviously, looking at the world now, I mean, I think we'd be screwed in this situation. But but I think the look of it and the feel of it is very positive, and you do kind of think that maybe there is a chance that they may choose peace or whatever. But obviously, it's a movie, you know. Like reality is a much more dark thing.
And for the time too, again, because we're in the future seeing this. But when the president goes to see the alien and he doesn't trust him, well, because of everything that's going on, he doesn't say like, because this is what's happening, and give like a history lesson of what's going on. The president's just like, there's just a lot of things out there right now that we don't trust. And it was a perfect saying to be like, we can't trust anybody yet because we don't know you, kind of a line. And but we'll just go straight to the acting. Michael Rennie, is that how you say his last name? Rennie is, I think, I mean, he's a star in this movie, but he was fantastic as the alien. Sometimes be a little monotone, but he still shows a little bit of enthusiasm when he, especially is with Bobby, and he's getting to see what humans can do, be good or be bad in a situation.
I think it is kind of detached, but I think when you're coming from an angle that he's not human, and you kind of have to remember that he's not human, and in this society that is essentially run by robots, or they're like the authority force, right? Like it does make sense that it's more like flat or less emotional, but I think that's also it speaks to a little bit of that otherworldliness, of that like, for lack of a better term, that holiness, right? Like he feels like a figure above us, as opposed to feeling, but like also when he's just out in the world, he feels like someone normal, like his conversations are normal. It's just nice to watch.
It's not necessarily he's above us. It feels like that, but it feels like back on Earth, or back on his planet, nothing really bad happens. So why give like enthusiasm or something like that? Why be shocked about something when like violence happens, especially when he comes out with the guns, and then Gort has to disintegrate him because he he doesn't want the weapons to go off, pretty much. And that was a very interesting too. He when the alien was like, yeah, he's just here because he wants peace, and that's all he is. He's not going to hurt you. He will take away the things that hurt people, though.
Yeah, take away the ability to hurt. Yeah, 100%. It's brilliant. And back to performances, Michael Rennie is fantastic. But it's weird to say this. I mean, the entire cast is good, but Billy Gray as Bobby the kid is actually pretty good in this movie.
Oh, I loved Bobby. He was he was, for the time, as it being a kid, when you didn't know what was going to happen, he was very optimistic and very like, hey, really? We can go to the movies? Like, kind of a thing, because not that he was necessarily scared. He probably knew what was going on in the world, but he wouldn't let that stop him from having a good day.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, we already said that this movie looks good. I think the music in this movie is really good. I think the cinematography is good. I think the practical effects are really fun. And I do think that it is a movie, like, this is essential sci-fi viewing.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't like it, I think that it's essential because it is foundational to sci-fi as a film genre. But also, I think that if you're trying to get into looking into film more analytically, or to like look at what it's trying to say, or like visual metaphor or story metaphor, whatever you want to call it, I think this is a great way to start, right? Because I think a lot of people, even if they're not religious, have experience with a Messiah story and can see that mirroring in this. And I think that it's a really easy way to get into deeper looking at it.
Yeah. Well, another thing I wanted to point out too was when he brings Bobby to the spaceship, and the reporter's asking everybody how scared they are and stuff like that, and they come up to the alien, and the alien tries to explain it, and then he just cuts him off, which is perfect, because it's like the media will show whatever they want. It doesn't matter what people say.
Yeah, even back in the 50s. Alrighty, so again, this was my pick, so I'll go ahead and go first. I mean, I'm pretty simple for me. I think this is one of the miracles of 50s sci-fi kind of films, just because it's not a B movie. It feels high bar at every single turn. The acting is great. The metaphor and the story is fantastic. The way that you can look into this at any kind of Messiah or prophet level is great. Everything behind the camera, in front of the camera, it really works. So I think that for me, I give it a 95 out of 100, which is 4.5 stars out of 5. I really love this movie, and it's one of those ones where I always recommend it to people, like I was saying earlier, who I'm trying to get into looking at film and analyzing film, and hopefully trying to also broaden their horizons too.
Very nice. Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I mean, we had a lot of good positive takes on this, because it is a very good movie. It shows you what life was back in the day, especially during the scare as well, the Cold War. But it shows you what life can be like without war, or what could happen if another being comes down, and what will we do with them. The sci-fi aspect, I wouldn't say it's too sci-fi. It's not like your Star Wars or something like that. This is a perfect like entry level sci-fi. It's like, oh, UFO, but here's everything with human population. Doesn't go into too much detail about anything else, which I think was really good. But I mean, acting's fantastic, and just the message that it gets across is really enjoyable as well. So I gave this a 97 out of 100, which is 4.5 stars out of 5.
Dang. Well, there you go. And the question now falls to you. What do you think of The Day the Earth Stood Still? We'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comments section, but just remember to be respectful of one another, because it's really not hard. But next week, we're continuing the month-long theme of my birthday picks, and we're taking a look at the Hong Kong action classic, Hard Boiled, which I'm so excited for Kevin to watch for the first time. So make sure to watch it so you're not spoiled. And that is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. We have this that goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, we have our live stream every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we go over movie news, reviews, and so much more. So thank you all for joining us. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.